Welcome to this week's Future Toolbox podcast. We explore the Z to A of life skills, where each letter stands for a topic and essential tool to help you get ahead in life. Meet Jules and Mark, creators of the multi-award-winning Future Toolbox, and enjoy their straightforward approach to creating growth mindsets that help people turn their dreams into realities. Whether you're a teen in education, a parent, a teacher, or part of a community group, start creating positive habits from today.
Welcome to this week's Z to A podcast with me, Jules and Mark from the multi-award-winning Future Toolbox.
Hello.
Now, this is where we pick a letter and a topic to discuss how you can use our tools to improve your own personal development and life. So, Mark, let us know what the letter is this week.
The letter we have chosen this week is T for Throwback. So we're going to take a little throwback tour over 2023, which are also T's as well, 2023. There you go. We're going to take a little tour back over the last year and share with you some things that we've achieved, what we're really, really proud of, but also get you to think about what you've achieved as well.
Well, I guess you can say the biggest thing that we've done this year is we've moved to another country.
That was a pretty major deal, wasn't it?
And I'm sure most of you that are listening know that we now live in Lanzarote. So we've had to bring our business and all of our personal life and everything over here and set up in a completely new environment.
Yeah, and it's been really wonderful. It's been really exciting. We've been here for just over 6 months now, and we've had to adapt to a completely whole new life. So loads and loads of people say to us, oh, I bet you're not missing the English weather, or I bet you're really enjoying sitting in the sunshine and all those sorts of things. And whereas the weather is a really, really nice major part of living here, there are also many other things attached to it as well.
Do you know, that's really true, because we had some friends come over a few weeks ago and somebody actually said, oh, I expected you to be browner because you live in a warmer climate. And it isn't about sunbathing. It is lovely to have the nice warm weather, and what that gives us is the opportunity to be outdoors more, which is what we were struggling to be able to do back in the UK.
Yeah, sometimes when it's dark and grey on a, Tuesday afternoon at 4:30 and it's cold outside, it is a little bit harder to get out the door. So we've just embraced the outdoor lifestyle and got involved in many more activities that maybe we wouldn't. So regular listeners know that we love our paddle boarding. We've also taken up paddle, which is a form of tennis, and started getting reasonably okay at that.
Can hit the ball now and again.
Yeah, we can still hit it over the fence quite regularly if we want to. But on a serious note, it's opened up a whole new social environment for us. And that's also spread across different towns on the island as well. So the friendships here have been really, really good and really, really welcoming.
One of the greatest things that I've really enjoyed doing is working out where to go for our shopping to be able to cook. As you probably know, I really enjoy cooking, but I've been having to explore where to get the ingredients and things that I would like to do to create my wonderful dishes that I do. So that's been a real challenge, but one that I've absolutely loved. And I enjoy shopping, whereas, most people don't enjoy doing the weekly shopping. And you even come with me and enjoy it.
I actually enjoy the shopping too. But another little spin-off from that as well is working out what products are in Spanish.
Yeah.
We've talked again on many podcasts about our quest to learn how to speak Spanish. Now, I'm going to be really, really honest with you. We've actually fallen off the wagon a little bit with that, because life has got really, really busy, and there's been some unexpected things happen here as well, where we've had to get involved in different processes. So we decided that our goal of learning to speak Spanish is still there, but we can shift that goal into 2024. And again, that's a real message for you guys out there. Don't ever think you failed just because you haven't stayed on the wagon or stayed on the straight and narrow or whatever it may be. You can pick that goal back up. As long as the goal is still there, that's the main thing. And we've still carried on learning little bits and pieces, haven't we?
Yeah, I think what happened was the goal was to learn Spanish, and we were keen to get that going fairly quickly after we'd settled in. However, the opportunity presented itself for you to learn to play the guitar very quickly. Then you had the singing lessons, and you've been doing that. As most of you know, Mark suffered a brain injury a number of years ago, and there's only so many things that he can take on at one time. So we sat down and made the decision that the guitar and the singing was something really, really close to your heart, and you were loving it that much that we decided to put the learning Spanish back a few months so that he could focus on that rather than trying to do too many things and end up being not so good at all of them.
Yeah, what's that phrase? Jack of all trades, master of none?
Yeah.
I suppose that sort of sums it up, really.
Yeah.
It sums up my brain sometimes.
So, yeah, we decided to do that. So, as Mark's saying, it doesn't mean that we are not going to try and learn Spanish. It's just that we've just put it on hold for a short period of time whilst his brain is able to learn the guitar and the singing and get comfortable with that before we introduce something else into it.
That is very true. And also, we've had lots of challenges with filling in paperwork and going off to various different appointments for residency. So there's a lot of things that we probably didn't expect. Even buying a car here in Spain is a little bit different to buying a car in England. You buy a car in England, you fill in one form, you send it off, you've made a transaction, the car is yours, then you insure it and tax it, obviously. Here we actually had 6 appointments to buy a car.
Yes.
And that wasn't with the people we were buying the car from, that was the 6 appointments with the authorities, because there were a few complications that I'm not going to bore you with. It's little challenges like that. But a big message for you guys out there is sometimes things will come up in life and will get in the way. Sometimes things will be a bit unexpected, but it's how you deal with them. And we could have got really, really frustrated with the process of the buying the car, for instance, and started complaining about the authorities for having those, what we thought were slightly strange and silly rules in place. Or we could just accept it and think, do you know what? This is the process. That's what they want. Let's not argue with them. Let's get them what they want. So then we can transfer the car into our name and carry on using it and driving it and doing whatever we need to do legally.
Yeah. And it's been the same with organising the residency here. It didn't go as smoothly as it possibly could have done. However, when you speak to other people that have gone through this, they've had similar situations. So it is just a process. You just have to accept it. It's been longer than we wanted to. So therefore, it meant for some time we weren't able to travel back to the UK and see the family as we wanted to. So that was a challenge and something that we had to accept and know that once we've gone through this, then we'll be able to, as I called it, get our wings back and be able to start travelling. But it also, if you flipped it round, because I'm a great believer of, you know, when you are faced with a challenge, often you'll look at the negative all the time and think, oh no, this is happening, that's not right. But if you can also think, well, actually, whilst we can't go back to the UK, it's a good chance for us to really work on settling down and understanding what it's like to be living in a different country. So yeah, we used the time wisely, didn't we?
We did indeed.
However, going back to the fact of not being able to go back and see the family, with technology these days, it's not as bad as it would have been sort of 20, 30 years ago, because we can FaceTime or WhatsApp, video call, all of them. And the grandkids now have all got their tablets and phones and what have you. So, yeah, we get to speak to them probably more than what we did when we lived in Northampton.
It is. It's that quality time where you spend with people and you actually appreciate things a little bit more. So I guess with that big change in life, that brings us quite nicely on to the Future Toolbox. And of course, we've had to adapt the business to be able to run it in a different country and run a lot more online activities like this podcast, like the webinars that we've been running, and also virtual workshops. Then we've obviously had the little challenges of having to fly back and deliver face-to-face sessions, which we'll be doing one of those in early January. But if we throw back over 2023 and just taking away those things that we've had to adapt to living life here in Lanzarote and running the business, we were also really, really, really proud to be finalists for 2 awards, the FSB East Midlands Community Award and also the Midlands Start-Up Awards. And at the Midlands Start-Up Awards, we won the New Family Business One to Watch Award by setting up the Future Toolbox CIC, which, of course, we've now launched the project of Brain or Shine as well. So winning an award is amazing and so humbling for us, but also being able to start a whole new project, again, is something that's really, really exciting going forward.
So yes, setting up the Brain or Shine project is something that we've wanted to do for some time and actually began a number of years ago with writing the book, What the Hell Just Happened, which is about our story of Mark having the brain injury and how that affected him and then affected our relationship. So this project is for anybody that's been affected by a brain injury. So whether it's you yourself or it's somebody that you know that's been affected, we've set up a Facebook group and we're having people from all around the world join that, and they're helping and supporting each other with the challenges that they're facing on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's really, really nice as well. A lovely community, and the messages that are going backwards and forwards on there. When you think we've created that and we've brought these people together that are supporting each other, again, that is a really, really good feeling.
Yeah, and we've got a Instagram page that is going really, really well. So that's about delivering messages and help out there and working with other communities that have been affected by the brain injury. And we've got loads of plans now going forward in 2024 with the Brain or Shine. We've started webinars. We've got another one coming up in early January.
And don't forget the podcasts and the blogs, and also a really, really good link with the brain injury charity Headway, who have allowed us to deliver some training sessions, again, remotely to people in that community. So yeah, we're really, really looking forward to 2024 with all of that.
As Mark said, we are really looking forward to that. But the Brain or Shine comes under the Future Toolbox CIC, and we recognise that everybody is different, so therefore they require different support. So within the Future Toolbox, the online offering for people either sitting exams, so young people, or for communities, the tools and tips are going to be there to help achieve their goals and aspirations, irrespective of what they feel is holding them back. So we're looking at more neurodiverse ways of helping people.
Okay, so let's go back to all of our T's. Throwback in 2023. So what were your favourite moments? They could be big ones, they could be small ones.
My favourite moments? If I go back to the beginning of the year, my birthday in February, turning the big 6-0, and you took me to the wonderful island of St Lucia.
That was absolutely amazing. What a lovely place.
Yeah, so that's something that I will remember and treasure. But some other things that I've done this year that I've never done before. First of all, I went to a circus. I've never been to a circus. And thankfully, I was able to join with my son, daughter-in-law and the 3 grandsons and have that experience with them as well. That was absolutely amazing. It was phenomenal. And we often talk about it with the kids. They still remember it.
Fond memories, definitely.
Absolutely brilliant. And again, looking back, even though we have moved over here, I'm still able to be a big part of running the charity in Northamptonshire, Breast Friends. And it means such a lot to me to be able to still help and keep that going, and the support that that gives to anybody affected by breast cancer. So that's lovely. But do you know what? I'm gonna leave with the biggest top memory that will stay with me forever, and this has been a goal of mine for as long as I can remember, and I've got close in other times, but I got round to actually flying a plane this year, and it was phenomenal. And I think I never stopped talking for about 4 days afterwards about it.
That was absolutely amazing. It was really, really good. I've never seen you buzzing so much about doing something.
And it's cool because I've got a photograph of me and the pilot. It was a gentleman, and I've got it framed here. And that's quite nice to have a husband that will allow a picture of me with another man in our living room.
Excellent. No problem with that one.
But yeah, that was honestly probably the pinnacle, I think, of 2023, flying a plane. So over to you, Mark. What are your best bits of the last 12 months?
Well, I think the things that you mentioned, obviously going to St Lucia was pretty special. But one thing for me was, and we mentioned it earlier, was actually having the courage to start performing on stage and singing. Now, when I first started, it was really nerve-wracking, but now I've actually managed to master some of my favourite songs. So, for instance, Chasing Cars by Snow Patrol, I can sing that song and then somebody comes up at the end and go, man, that was amazing. So that is a real highlight, to actually have been able to overcome that little obstacle, that little fear in my mind, and actually be excited about doing that and performing on stage. So hopefully that will get better. Continued practice.
That's a good one, because that's something that you've wanted, but you're never quite sure how that was going to come about. And there you go.
The next one I'm going to pick is a really small one, and it's actually getting back in the saddle and riding a bike again.
Oh, yeah.
I absolutely love cycling, but I just felt my confidence disappeared. Obviously, falling off a bike doesn't help, and I fell off a bike the last time I got on one before moving out here. But actually having the ability to, again, overcome that fear and get back on a bike and go and cycle and see some absolutely amazing places that perhaps you wouldn't walk to, or driving there you wouldn't see them the same as well. So that's a little win for me there. I'll take that one. And another one I'm going to pick as well is the friendships that I had before I left England, and they still continue. And sometimes the strength in the friendships is amazing, and it's really, really powerful. So I had to say some really emotional farewells to friends at my running club, Northampton Road Runners, back in May. We did a really, really crazy run called the Beerathon that we created ourselves, and I'll let you work out what a Beerathon will be. And then back in November, early December, 35 of our friends came out here, and we had the most amazing weekend, and it was almost like there was no gap in that 6 months that passed. So the friendship that I have from those people back in Northampton, and you as well, it's not just about me. They came to see both of us here. They joined in. We had so many great social events, and we're looking forward to catching up with them again in the new year. But that weekend was so special, and to cram so much into 4 or 5 days was any achievement itself. But yeah, we love you guys if you're listening into the podcast, which I'm sure you will be.
Oh, there's some wonderful memories of a really, really good year. So it's important, I think, for you to celebrate your achievements and your growth, and also to look back at how far you've come and what you've achieved over the last year. Now, they could be big or small successes, but that you should acknowledge and you should celebrate them. And sometimes you might think that you don't think you have accomplished much over the past year, but you probably have done more than you think. And a good way to do this is to write down what you have done personally and professionally this year. We keep diaries, we have things on our phones, you have your photos, you have social media. So it's actually easier now to go back over the year and see what you have done. So it's worth doing that, and then possibly write them down. And the more that you start doing, the more that you will remember. And before you know it, you've got a lovely long list of things that you've done, and you'll be amazed at what you've achieved in this past year.
Yeah, so look forward as well to 2024 and the goals that you're going to set for that. And think when you're sitting there reflecting back in a year's time, think about all the things that you want to be celebrating, achieving. Now, I'm going to finish off with a last little thank you. Or in fact, it needs to be a really, really big thank you, because people help you on your journey. Yeah. So a big shout out to our fellow director, Sally Wood. She is absolutely amazing, one of the best friends that you could ever possibly ask for. She's helped us out so much personally and professionally over the last year and before that, and that will continue beyond. So Sally, thank you. We love you so much.
We do love you.
Yay. And also all the people that names begin with E, I've just realised this. Yes. So Elise, Emma, and Elizabeth, and the whole team at Admin and More as well, that have made so much of our Future Toolbox journey possible for the last 2 years. And again, we're really, really looking forward to that in the new year. Yeah. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and they're supporting and helping us getting the Brain or Shine project going. So yeah, without them, we'd be a little bit lost, wouldn't we?
Yeah. And then this is a little bit of a get out one, but thank you also to all of our listeners and all the people that we haven't mentioned as well, because you guys are amazing. We have so much support and love, and we really, really appreciate that. So T is for Throwback. Now, you can take a throwback through the archives of this podcast, The Z to A of Life, and you can also find loads of great stuff on our website, which is futuretoolbox.co.uk. Why not scroll through all of our previous posts on social media and then follow the new stuff that's coming? We're on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok. And we also have a YouTube channel, and we're on LinkedIn, because we are
everywhere.
And we will continue to be everywhere in the new year. So happy new year to everybody. Have a wonderful rest of the festive break, and we look forward to catching you in 2024.
Yay! Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you for joining us for the Z2A of Life Skills with Jules and Mark of the Future Toolbox. Don't forget to head over to their website, which is futuretoolbox.co.uk, where you can find lots of free resources, plus a host of books in the store, as well as subscribing to the membership site. Follow Future Toolbox Instagram, TikTok and Facebook at Future Toolbox, and subscribe to their YouTube channel too.